Alright fellas, now it's been a day since the Belal JDM fight happened, and I wanted to take a bit of a closer look at what actually might be next for Belal. We had a look in the last video, but I wanted to break down all the options and evaluate what is most likely to be his next move. After last night, Belal has managed to shift a lot of public opinion on himself. He really put it all on the line and provided an exciting fight for the fans. So with the tide turning, he will have a lot more eyes now looking forward to whatever is next. Yet 36, time is ticking. So let's break down what the most likely options he could take when he eventually comes back to try hunt for the belt. But just quickly, my name's Cloister and this channel is your one-stop shop for everything MMA, so make sure to subscribe and I will always keep you in the loop. But now let's get straight into what the future could hold for Belal. Now the fight that still everyone is curious about is Belal Muhammad versus Shavkat. This matchup was meant to happen before but never came together due to injuries. Now after Belal's title loss, he'll be wanting that belt back as soon as possible, and what's the quickest route to prove himself? It's probably against Shavkat. Rebounding straight away against the toughest challenger in the division would almost guarantee him another shot. If he wants to be up there in the title conversation, Shavkat's the fastest and most dangerous way to get there. And it absolutely won't be a walk in the park. Shavkat's undefeated, almost all finishes, and he makes damn near everyone look like they don't belong in the octagon. But here's one thing, Belal's not like the others in the division. He doesn't scare easy. He said it himself, a lot of these guys lose to Shavkat before they even touch gloves. But Belal, he probably still has that chip on his shoulder, that underdog sort of mentality. And he genuinely believes he can outsmart him, drag him into deep waters and drown the hype. If this fight gets made, it's gonna be a war. Belal, Shavkat, the UFC needs to make this happen. Now, for some reason that fight can't be made and the UFC wants to drum up drama, storylines, and most importantly views, the one they'll be looking for is Belal Muhammad versus Garry. The build-up kind of sells itself. You got Belal, hardworking, no-nonsense, ex-champ who has something to prove again, versus Garry, the brash, confident loudmouth with a plan to take over. For Garry, it's his most efficient path to the belt. Belal, then the belt, potentially against Islam. And you gotta respect the ambition. Probably within the welterweight division, he's currently the hottest property when it comes to selling fights. He's got a loud mouth, which most people in the MMA world tune in for to see if he can back up his talk. Put him on a large stage against Belal on, say, the undercard of JDM versus Islam, and you got yourself an easily sellable and marketable fight. Would I really want to see it? Well, it would be entertaining, although the Shavkat match is still the one ideally I would like to see. That's more of a fight that a true fan wants rather than the casual. Yet in a sport which is, to be honest, struggling for stars who actually want to fight somewhat regularly, trying to elevate Garry into the title picture, who is keen to fight regularly, is an absolutely plausible move by the UFC. Although, would Garry want to take a fight against Belal, who is now trying to prove himself and get back onto that big stage? I don't know. I reckon he would rather target somebody like #1 contender Sean Brady, which I think is a way more winnable fight for Garry and would be an easier move to help him climb closer to the top of the division. And probably the third option, which I would point to being, hey, somewhat likely, which a lot of you guys pointed out in the last video's comments, is a potential fight against Kamaru Usman. Now, of course, Usman is set to fight Buckley at UFC Atlanta in about a month. And this isn't an easy fight for Usman, but if he can somehow get through Buckley, he's a big enough star for the UFC to consider matching him with Belal. Usman is still ranked number 4 within the rankings, and a win against Buckley would only reaffirm his place within the elite. As long as Usman is healthy and his knees don't give up, I still think this would be a bit of a fun fight against Belal. Although if Buckley wins, I think a fight against Belal would also be pretty interesting. Yet would Belal really want to fight Buckley coming off him beating Wonderboy, Covington and potentially Usman in a row? I don't know about that, but probably out of all the opponents, these are the most likely 4 that would be next. But let's talk about the fights which might happen but I don't want to see. Up there would be the Sean Brady rematch. Although he's technically #1 in the rankings, it's something that I just don't want to see. Belal Muhammad and Sean Brady first clashed at UFC 280, where Belal handed Brady his first professional loss with a TKO in the second round. It was a pretty good victory that showcased Belal's striking and ability to neutralize Brady's grappling threats. But since then, Brady has been eager for a rematch, especially after his recent submission win over Leon Edwards at UFC London. However, from Belal's perspective, revisiting this matchup might not actually offer much. He's already proven his superiority in their initial encounter, and a rematch I don't think would do much to further Belal's case for another shot. The other fight I wouldn't be too keen on would be the Edwards rematch. The rivalry between Belal and Edwards has been eventful. Their first bout ended with a no contest due to an accidental eye poke. And in the rematch at UFC 304, Belal dominated Edwards to capture the welterweight title. Despite Edwards' desire for a trilogy fight, Belal has expressed little interest in giving him a rematch, suggesting Edwards needs to work his way back up the ladder. And given the clear outcome of their last fight, and Edwards' last fight against Brady, another rematch might not generate the excitement or any justification needed, especially when you have other contenders waiting in the wings. So, out of all of these options, I would say the most likely is either Shavkat or Garry. These two bouts are the recipe for him to rebound straight back into the title picture, whilst of course the belt is held up with JDM vs Islam. Simply, those two fights are the most exciting ones that could be made next. Yet also something which should be taken into consideration is Belal did take a beating yesterday, including a split lip which looked pretty nasty. And I don't know if I can even show you guys because hey, it might violate some sort of YouTube rule, it was just that nasty. Yet as long as recovery goes okay for Belal, my personal pick on what is probably next is probably a Shavkat fight, maybe sometime around September, with the winner being set up to fight once again for the belt. But now I want to hear what you guys think. What do you think might be next for Belal Muhammad? Is it Usman? Is it Shavkat? Is it Garry? Or is it somebody else entirely? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It does a ton to help the channel. Yeah, thanks for watching fellas, and I'll catch you in the next one.